With it coming at about 45 miles per hour, that would put it here between 9 and 10 o'clock. Now, obviously, it would be sooner to the west and a little bit later in our eastern counties. We'll be watching things and break into programming if we have to this evening.
The storms tore through Michiana tonight, bringing lots of lightning and some strong winds. Now, currently, around 6,500 Michiana residents are without power. Chief Meteorologist Mike Hoffman has been tracking the storm and updating us all night long. He's in the weather lab with the very latest. Mike?
Thank you very much, Terry. First of all, let's go to some of our live Skyview cameras, and you can see as the storm came in over South Bend, lots of lightning, quick heavy downpour out of it. Didn't last real long though in South Bend. We also have some from the St. Joe Skyview from earlier as the storms were moving in. And what we're looking at is it's moving at about 40 miles per hour. So that would put it into South Bend somewhere close to 1 a.m. That's a brand new tornado warning, by the way, right along the state line. So there could be weak tornadoes right at the leading edge of this line as well. It should start to weaken, but I'm going to be here to keep you updated throughout the rest of the night. Again, if you're just waking up due to the thunder and lightning, this is an intense line of thunderstorms moving off to the east. The severe thunderstorms blasted across Lake County about an hour ago. They produced widespread wind damage and power line damage all across Lake County. 86 mile per hour wind gusts has been the highest we've seen. Everything in red here, eastern LaPorte, western St. Joe County, and also around this huge red area, the red line here, much of northern Marshall, southern, lots of lightning outside the studio right now.
Now we want to show you this. This video was shot overnight. Trees fell down on two houses right near each other on 27th and 28th Streets near Mishawaka Avenue. Same trees crashed into power lines as well. Street signs were down in the roadways. Quite a bit of damage throughout Michiana, including near Notre Dame. Look at this. Tree fell on Notre Dame Avenue, blocking the roadway. You can see it there. It's actually still blocked off by tape this morning, so you will need to take a different route on campus if you're heading that way early today. Nearby in Angela, a street light fell in the road, but quite a bit of damage. All happened during a big event on campus. You can see it on your screen right there. Tornado sirens kept more than 150 people inside during what was supposed to be an exciting midnight unveiling of the brand new sideline gear by Under Armour. You can see a couple of those products on your screen right now.
Good morning, Tricia. Yeah, take a look at this. You talk about the hardest hit areas right here. This tree fell on the front part of this mobile home. Just take a look at it. It's almost mind-blowing to understand how such a big tree, those winds could have blown it over. But as we mentioned, some reports of 90-mile-per-hour winds in Michiana. Again, not saying that happened here, but just think about those high winds that forced this tree to go down.
Crews are out there right now. They're starting to clean up, but boy, oh boy, it tells the story and really paints the picture this morning.
An overnight of frayed nerves, lost sleep, and widespread damage in every part of Michiana.
A line of deadly storms rails our area tonight. The cleanup is just beginning as we assess the damage and deal with Mother Nature's wrath. Good evening, I'm Maureen McFadden.
And I'm Terry McFadden. The storms left many around Michiana with downed trees and damage to their homes, and have tens of thousands of us still without power tonight.
Here's a look at some of the power numbers. AEP is reporting over 50,000 people without power in the Michiana area. 20,000 of those are in St. Joseph County. NIPSCO is reporting 21,000 people without power in Michiana, with 8,000 in Goshen. Midwest Energy says around 5,800 people are in the dark. The company says power should be restored by Friday. A teen is dead after a tree fell on a home early this morning in Kosciuszko County. Police identify him as 14-year-old Daniel Raymond Holbrook. Holbrook was in the front bedroom with another boy when a tree fell. The other boy suffered minor injuries.
Now, two others were in the home as well. They were not hurt. News Center 16's Christine Karsten was on the scene all morning long and talked to the woman whose son was in the bedroom and made it out alive.
All of a sudden the wind picked up, it started pouring rain, trees started going everywhere. It shook my trailer a little bit. It sounded like a small tornado.
Widespread damage, down power lines, and power outages were reported all across Michiana from the severe storm that passed through just after midnight. And this storm was deadly.
I found out that the 13-year-old boy that lived there had passed away, and that really broke my heart. He was a good boy. He was good to my My son, I just feel sorry for the family, and they're in my prayers, and I couldn't imagine nothing like this.
But she almost had to. Her son was in the same bedroom where the tree fell. Luckily, he made it out.
My son started banging on the door, and I about lost it.
That could have been your son.
I know, and I'm lucky he got out with scrapes, and that's it.
As for the family who lived next door, it's scary how similar their stories could have been.
You couldn't really see it, but that's my kid's room.
Oh my gosh. Brandy Talawit says when the storm hit, she felt like someone picked up her trailer and hit it.
I couldn't hear my other son, so I started to panic. And then by that time I could hear him a little bit yelling, "Mom, I'm stuck, I can't get out."
Stuck because the same tree crashed through the roof of her kid's bedroom.
My one son came out by himself. He was like on the other side of the room, and my oldest son was stuck. He was pinned, and my husband got in there and got him out. I thought my kids had died in there. They got out of there by the grace of God.
Christine Karsten, News Center 16.
Holbrook's autopsy was scheduled for today, but could be moved to tomorrow because of power outages.
And sadly, there was another person killed in Michiana during the overnight storms after a tree fell on his LaGrange County home. It happened in the 9700 block of East County Road 520 South near Big Long Lake. The man's wife called 911 around 1:30 this morning, saying a tree fell on her home and she couldn't find her husband. When firefighters got to her house, they found her husband, 64-year-old Larry Davison, dead beneath the tree. An excavator had to be called to help remove the 90-foot tree from the home.
South Bend was one of the hardest hit areas during last night's storm. Falling trees caused some serious damage to homes, cars, and other property, particularly in the Harder Heights neighborhood near Notre Dame. Storm Team 16's Megan Hickey is live in South Bend with a look at some of that damage. And Megan, what's that behind you?
Terry, I'm on the corner of St. Joseph and Piashway. You can see this street is completely blocked off by the crews in this area. There was actually a very large tree leaning into a home just on this corner, so they've been working for a long time trying to get that down. And unfortunately, this is not an unfamiliar scene in South Bend. Trees have been falling on houses, other property, on cars, and they've been falling on electrical wires as well, and that's what's causing the widespread power outages that we're seeing across the area. Massive trees, some 60 or 70 feet tall, seem to be the greatest casualty of the storm, and when these trees came crashing down, they left a path of destruction. Crews are working to clear streets that have been blocked with debris, while many homeowners assess the damages to their houses, cars, and yards. Many residents said this was the worst storm they'd experienced in their lifetimes.
Destroyed the Prius. I'm not sure how much damage to the van, and the pickup truck has a limb through the windshield. Could have been the house, could have been falling the other way. So count your blessings.
That one, if you look at it on the other side, you can see cracks in the trunk of it where it's twisted like that, where it looks like it actually, like you grabbed a hold of it and just twisted the thing off.
Without a doubt, the worst thing I've experienced in 35 years of living here.
They were powerful already and intensifying. It was the heating of the day already. It was hot and humid ahead of the line. But watch what happens as it sweeps into Michiana after 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. This line just tends to go away. It did cause some spotty damage, but it's the second one then coming into already cooler air. Typically, these lines will weaken overnight in this situation because it's cool out ahead of it, left over from the previous storms, but this one did not. This one had enough upper air energy to continue to blast eastward. It moved east at 60 miles an hour, which means you're going to get 60 to 70 mile per hour winds all along the front.
I'm in a neighborhood off of County Road 3 in Elkhart where a lot of the homes have trees down and property damage. Here, one of those trees is lifted up by its roots from the ground. The family has cut away a lot of the branches and cleared the roadway, but this stump is going to last for a while. And 10 minutes away from where we are here in Elkhart County is the city of Elkhart, where they've suffered significantly less damage than some of the surrounding areas. Now, there are some reports of trees down on homes in the city, but driving around town today, there is way less debris, leaves, and branches in the town than in the surrounding county area. Elkhart Building and Grounds Department was called in at around 3 a.m. once the storm had completely passed through the area. Since then, a team of 10 people has been trimming branches and clearing the right-of-way for traffic. Officials told me they hope to have all the roads completely cleared by 3 o'clock this afternoon.